And welcome back to How Not to Souls. Today we're looking at a Dex Faith Paladin, more centered upon the lightning or dragon cult incantations. Very good in PvE, very good in PvP, and this kind of reminded me as a callback to like old, not old, but like Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3 Paladins, because I just feeling that straight up lightning build didn't want to do much for holy damage. We ended up taking some holy weapons, which were very helpful. But this was kind of a callback to that. Like, pretty cool. And yeah, overall pretty good. Let's take a look at our stats. For 167, we had a 51 vigor. I wanted to kind of push towards 60, but I felt like putting more into faith ended up towards the end of the playthrough was worth our time. 20 mind, which we weren't really a caster. We do have spells for attacks, but really it was just mostly for buffing or curing ourselves with poison, Scarlet Rot, and that's what that flame incantation's for. Endurance, 30. A good amount of endurance. Plenty of equip load. We could have pushed for more. I chose not to. It's perfect. 20 strength to meet weapon requirements. 40 dex to get like a proper amount of dex. We could have gone deeper. Like I said, though, for buffs, having a higher faith will give us a higher bonus from our golden down or our lightning bolt weapon buffs between Vike's bolt and the regular lightning bolt buff. 10 intelligence, which is base. You can put more into it. I didn't. I just didn't think it was needed. 66 faith, which you can tell I was pushing to get to 70, which huge. I mean, it's faith build. Pretty awesome. Does pretty awesome damage with your buffs and things like that. And the incantations when you did cast them for like lightning bolts or I forgot that is Fortissax's lightning spear. Those were pretty damn good. Or we have Lance Axe's lightning blade, or the multi red lightning. Did decent damage. It just, like I said, not really a caster like that. And a 10 arcane on base as well. The weapons we used. Let's go into the menu right here. So I used, this is my main. It was the Banished Knight's Keen Greatsword with the Giant Hunt Ash of War. Very effective on breaking enemy poise. And we also used Sword Dance with that as well. That did decent damage. That was also good for breaking poise, but that was more for doing damage. That wasn't associated with poise breaking. The Banished Knight's Greatsword with a Shared Order Ash of War, which was added at the end because I didn't get my second Banished Knight sword towards the end of the game, and I just couldn't really fit it in. I tried it out in PvP. It was fun, but it just didn't really get the flow of, I just couldn't attain the flow with it because I didn't really have it for very long. A Golden Order Greatsword, which from the Consecrated Snowfields through Fair Missoula was huge for us. The Sacred Relic Sword, which we really didn't use much at all, but it's ready to use when we got it, and that's because we get that as our last from the last boss. The Clean Rot Knight Sword, which is the little sidearm. Used it here and there. It wasn't really anything spectacular, but it was still good. Both of Grand Sacks, huge. It's very good, obviously. And it also has that freaking killer Ash of War. That's a lightning bolt that you shoot, and it goes really fast and it homes. Vike's War Spear, also another huge weapon for us. The original plan was to get a spear. Couldn't find a spear, so I stuck with the Banished Knight's Greatsword. Then we came on Vike's Spear for having the spear and having alternative damage versus lightning or flat damage. Having the fire damage was helpful, and you also have the madness built up. That works out really well. Guardian's Short Spear, Sword Spear, which I didn't really get to use. I used it for a bit. It was a part of it, so if I felt like I should mention it. It's not a bad weapon. Pretty good weapon. I just didn't get a chance to use it. Wing Scythe, which was my starter weapon after the Uchi Katana, which I just wasn't feeling the Uchi. I just couldn't get into it. But once I got this, the build started to flow. It started feeling really nice. And everything else that's added upon here were weapons that I plan to use because they're all faith-based or would like to use at some point, maybe in New Game Plus. And then for our seal, I chose the Earth Tree seal because it has better scaling after a certain point. I think I'm 60 and up. Whereas the dragons, the gravel stone seal will boost our dragon cult incantations. But by the time I got the gravel stone seal, I already had this all the way up. Didn't really see the point considering I was going 60 and up. Still, it's not a bad thing to have. And for the majority, I had, well, not majority, but for like, until I got that, I had the finger seal. And that's that. Our talismans, Earth Tree Favor +2, Great Arsenal's Jar to have all these things equipped, because without it, I just kind of saw that wasn't a great amount of equip load, but that actually gives us enough. And then for this, we switch between these three, considering the flavor of damage we were doing. And then Shard of Alexander, pretty obvious, because your weapon art's a great boost. And that's kind of the one that can be changed out. I also used the Claw Talisman a bunch. I used this mostly. I got that comes later in the game, so I didn't really get a chance to use that too much. But yeah, improve our incantations, and then I think that's about it. I think I used Two Fingers Heirloom for a little while. Obviously, Erdtree's favorite, and I also used the Green Turtle Talisman for a little while. And let's take a look at our spells, and you can have your consumables. Boom, however you want. Wondrous Physics, same thing as our Scorpion Charms. I was just trading out a boost on flavor of attack. Sometimes holy, sometimes fire, sometimes lightning. And the faith boost also helped with our incantations and more of our faith-based weapons as well. Gives a little boost. And boiled crab, because yum yum, yum yum, yum yum. Our spells. Our main was Bike's Dragon Bolt, the occasional Lightning Spear, the occasional Home Boat, more Lightning Spear. Fortisax's Lightning Spear was pretty good for us in a couple of situations. This was surprisingly okay at times. I mean, it's not bad, but Lance Exclave was actually worth the time every now and then. Like I said, not really casting these types, just more buffs. Blackbade was a late add-on. Getting it so late is weird because I couldn't find a place for it, considering I didn't really fit the theme either. Flame Cleanse Me to get rid of poison. Scarlet Rot made sense. Just didn't take it off. There was no point. There's no point for me to have this many incantations. But you get all those memory slots. And then the Golden Vow for a substitute buff if I couldn't use Vike's Dragon Bolt for the more like Vike's War Spear, the Golden Order Greatsword, Bolt of Grand Sax, those kinds of weapons where you can't change out the Ash of War. But yeah, overall, pretty decent build. Gave me a lot of confidence for dex builds, and I really haven't done much dex builds. I did Hollow build in Dark Souls 3. I'm like, I might as well do that with a Paladin build. And this is like I said, this is kind of like an homage to the former Paladin builds that you got in Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, that's it. And what's his name? Hold on. Brecker Dilsmith, Lightning Paladin. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the PvP and PvE footage, and have a great day.